Hello, hello. So today I'm excited to share with you one of my first templates I'll be sharing out to the entire group. And this is how to create an asynchronous or fully online Jigsaw activity in Canvas. Now, although I'm going to be designing this so that it can be used asynchronously, meaning students don't have to do everything all together at the same time, it definitely can be done that way. So feel free to have this be part of like your hybrid classroom where you have some class time inside and students are also doing activities outside of class. Or if you happen to be working completely virtually right now with your students, this is an activity where they can do a lot of collaboration, a lot of talking with each other, and owning their own education or their own learning. Okay, so Jigsaw is one of my favorite activities because it's just tried and true. Okay, it's one of the most effective learning activities. It has like 4 decades of proven results. Okay, and then it's also, I know it's an activity that every single student is going to be held accountable for participation and engagement. So if you're not quite familiar with how the Jigsaw activity usually works, it is an activity where you use 2 different groups. Okay, so the first group, the first set of student groups you're going to create is called expert groups. So students are going to come together and they're all going to learn together one specific element of a topic. They're going to become experts in that portion of the topic. Okay. And then they're going to leave their expert groups and meet with another new group without any of the previous expert group members. And they're going to meet in the new group and share their new expertise. So now they are the expert in that element of the topic, and they are sharing everything that they know with their new group members so that they can know or learn that element as well. Okay, so this image here is just a nice demonstration of what I'm speaking of. So let's say all the green members, they're going to go with their green expert group and they're going to learn everything there is to know about green. And then that is part 1. Part 2 is all the green people meet with their new group members and they get to tell all of their new group members all about the color green. Okay, so just want to share this visual with you so you can kind of stick with me here as we develop it in Canvas. Okay. In Canvas, let me show you what I've set up, and I will be sharing this full template with you. And the template is going to be set in a module because there's 2 different parts and I want those parts to stick together. So what I've created is Jigsaw Part 1 and Jigsaw Part 2. So I'm going to click on Jigsaw Part 1. And you can see it's an activity, you can see it's an assignment. And so this assignment is essentially going to bring together my expert group members and tell them what they're going to be doing and how they're going to be doing it together. So my signature assignment layout just goes over the unit question. It's stated at the very top. You always want to remind students what's the overarching unit question they should be thinking about. Then what's this activity overview or goal? I also sometimes call this the assignment or activity purpose. So students have some buy-in and what they're doing and why they're doing it. Next is a timeline. Especially since this is a 2-part activity, you want students to be very clear on how many days they're going to be able to spend on each part of the activity, as well as how much class time is devoted and or outside homework time is dedicated. And within this span, when is part 1 due and when is part 2 due? Okay, so clear expectations on timeline there. Next, I've created some instructions for you so you can really just plug and play with this template. So the first part is just the first sentence is just telling students that they're in the very first part of this activity where they're going to become an expert on one specific element of, and then you can insert the topic. So the first instruction is for students to actually watch the Canvas student groups overview video. If you're not familiar, when you put students in a group within Canvas, those groups actually get their very own online workspace. Okay, so this workspace includes a place for them to have their own discussion board where only their group members are invited. It gives them a place to collect files. It gives them a place to use the communicate and collaborate or conferences tool. Again, and only people in their group have access to this workspace. So this video for you to watch as well, it's an overview of this workspace, how to find their groups and get to this workspace and get collaborating together. So after they watch the video, the next thing they want to do is find their group and go to their workspace. Then they're going to select people, a people tab in their workspace to find who their group members are, okay? Along with the group leader. You can actually set up a randomized group leader for every group. And that group leader needs to create the very first discussion forum. And their first thing they're going to do is, based on who is in their group, they're going to list out their group members' names, just 1 through 6. Okay, the order doesn't matter. It just matters that each student has a number associated with their name. Okay, this number associated with their name is going to correspond with their share group in part 2. So who are they going to go back and share their expertise to? Okay, anything in green with a bracket is going to be a place for you to add further instructions or further details. Next, after they have full instructions on what how they're going to become an expert, okay, what are the resources they're going to be using, and how they're going to present those resources in a presentation such as Padlet or a slideshow, Google Slideshow. To this assignment, the group leader, or anyone really, any group member can submit their presentation file or URL to this assignment. So this is essentially to close up this assignment, to say, hey, we've worked together, we've become experts, we created this presentation, here it is, we're now ready to share with our next group set. The final step in this assignment is for each member to go in and sign up for the Jigsaw topic insert share group. So based on this same video, I pulled a very specific section of that video to remind students on how to go sign up, do a self-selected sign up for the group that is corresponding to their number in that expert group. Okay, so if I'm a number 2, my last step is to go and sign up for group number 2. Based on this video, I'll know exactly where to go do that and where to click join. Okay, so this assignment is setting up a place for students to come together, become experts, create a presentation, and then sign up for their share group right here. The last section of this assignment is to work out expectations, so students are very clear on how they should work with group mates, what's the presentation example or expectations, as well as what is going to happen in part 2. Okay, so that is the very first part 1 of the Jigsaw. And again, I'm going to share this with you so you have it all there for you to really plug and play. All right, so part 2 is going to be where students leave their expert groups and they join their group based on whatever number was next to their name. So they come into their share groups. You can see there are individual share groups for this assignment board where only those members, the new members, are all together to share their expertise. So we have the outline here of this assignment instructions. And here are the instructions I provided for you to kind of start with as a foundation. So in the initial post, students are going to record a video explaining the top 3 influential aspects that connect their topic to the unit question. So a quick little face or talking head video, as we like to say. They can use their phone and upload it, or use the media recorder right in the Canvas toolbar. So whenever they click reply down below, they have the toolbar that we have when we're developing in Canvas as instructors, and they can use this upload record media button, and it will record, and they can talk into it, and they can do it as many times as they want to, but essentially maybe 3 minutes. You can add aspects there or details there, 3 minutes on what their topic's about and how it's going to connect to the overall unit. In addition to their video owning that expert topic, owning their understanding of the topic, in addition to the video, they're going to add their expert group's presentation or URL. Now, of course, this is up to you. This is just what I planted here so that you have a place to start. Okay, now the next part is to chat with their classmates. They're going to view each group member's post and reply with one question that would better help them understand the topic or the topic element. And then their job is to reply to all the questions that have been commented on their own post. Okay, another place for expectations you can add here. All right, so that is part 2. When they come together, they leave their expert groups and they come and share with group members that have no idea about their topic or their topic element, and they can really feel ownership over knowing, sharing, and teaching with their peers, teaching to their peers. Okay, so one thing I want to start with before I send you off with this template is you want to create your groups first. So how do we do that? We're going to go people. Okay, and then you're going to create your group sets. So you can see I've already started here. Jigsaw, insert the topic. This is my expert groups, group set. And then this is my Jigsaw, insert your topic. And this is my share group sets. Okay, so let me show you how I set this up. Creating a new group set. We're going to use that same title. Okay. I'm just going to call this 1 here so it doesn't overwrite the other one. So Jigsaw topic expert groups 1. This one you're going to put students in the group. So you're not doing the self sign up, but you're going to split students into groups. And the key here is to make sure the same number of students are in the group, that you have the same number of topics and the same number of share groups. So I like to do like a 6 by 6. That's a class of 36 students. Most upper grades have about that number. So I'm going to say split students into groups with 6 per group. Okay. And everyone's going to be in the same class or the same section. And then I'm also going to select automatically assign a student group leader. And I'm going to say set it for a random student. Save that. Okay. Creating groups. And then I'm going to create my share group. Okay, so for my part 2, we're going to use the same topic, but our same title. I'm going to call that 1. Here, you're going to allow students to do a self sign up. Allowing students to do self sign up and making students, number themselves within their expert group and then do the self sign up where they find their number and go into that group really takes a lot of logistics and painstakingly moving students from group to group out of the equation. Okay, it's all automated here, and students have ownership over this piece. Okay, you can help them, you can guide them through it, but they have ownership over this piece. So part 2 and the shared groups, they're going to do a self sign up. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that there's the same number of groups to share in that there is members in the expert group. So there's 6 members in the expert group. That means I want 6 groups for them to disperse and come into to share. Okay, so I'm going to create 6 groups and I'm going to make sure there are 6 members in each group. All right, no student leader needed here, so hit save. Okay, so here are my 2 groups, and this is making sure I'm going to assign the part 1 to this group and assign the part 2 to this group. Let me just remind you how to do that. In any of the settings that you have grades allowed, you can hit edit so that we're in the first part 1 assignment here, and you want to click this is a group assignment and select your group. Okay, and that's it. Hit save. Okay, and then in the discussion or part 2, hit edit. And then down below here, you have to first click allow threaded replies and graded to make sure that you have an option for group discussion here. So make sure these 2 options are selected, and then you have an option for group discussion. So yes, this is a group discussion. Yes, I'm going to make sure it goes for my share group students. And then you can set the rest of the criteria here. Okay. All right, so I'm sharing this template with everyone in Canvas Commons, and I'll give you a link on where to find it. I'm also going to create a handout for you so you know exactly what to do in setting this up for your own class. I hope you enjoy. It may seem a little scary to start with. It may seem like a lot of moving parts, but honestly, this is an activity worth the time for students to understand how it all works, because this activity is so incredibly effective for learning, and it can be used with multiple different unit topics, different subjects. So this is an activity that, students figure out how this works. It can be a great hit. Let me know if you have any questions.